Now we all know that being a captain in the NHL isn't all about skill, as the Bears of the Seas are required to be the team leaders and are given the most responsibility, along with expectations. But what if instead of ranking them by their leadership abilities, we rank them purely by skill? In this video, I'm going to attempt to rank all 6 current captains in the league that are defensemen by simply how good they are based on this season's performance. And with that, here are the 6 NHL defensemen with captaincy ranked by skill. A definite staple within the Bruins organization for quite some time, Zdeno Chara has been leading by example with the C for over a decade. Once one of the top defenders in the league in his prime, Chara has been regressing as expected over time with age. The 43-year-old, however, has still been very valuable in Boston as he served as a key mentor for younger players such as fellow defenseman Charlie McAvoy. Currently sitting at 14 points, 5 goals, and 9 assists, which also mirrors last season's point totals, Chara isn't the same player offensively as he once was when he captured the Stanley Cup. And yet another captain currently on the decline at 28 years of age is Oliver Ekmanlar. Granted, the defenseman hasn't been playing on the best team for a long time, but even with previous Hart recipient Taylor Hall in the lineup for part of the season, Ekmanlar averaged close to a point every other game, with 30 points after 66 games played. Before the season break, the Swede registered 65 blocks, along with 45 giveaways and 19 takeaways. Hopefully for Ekmanlar and the Coyotes, the captain can have a bounce-back year once hockey resumes. Following a stellar season and his best yet, Giordano, if the season doesn't resume, is going to end it with 31 points after 60 games played. However, despite his lackluster performance offensively, the Flames captain was able to block an impressive 148 shots in total. Even still, thus far, the Blue Liner's shooting percentage has went from a 7.7 to a 3.2, which is rather disconcerting. Granted, Giordano is 36 years old and probably beginning to decline. Regardless, when being measured against his peers today, unfortunately, he's about as average as they come. After having a few 50-point seasons in Nashville, Weber, since joining the Habs, has been riddled with injuries. But that's not to say that Montreal's captain isn't capable, as he's still been able to play a very physical game while contributing on the scoreboard. Before the hiatus, Weber had notched 36 points in 65 games played, and also had 114 blocks. The only real downside to the defenseman's game, however, is the 79 giveaways he had versus only 18 takeaways during the 2019-2020 season. However, Weber is still continuing to prove that some players can age like fine wine. Coming off a stellar season with a Stanley Cup ring, Pietrangelo began the current season with much expectation. As the captain, remained a constant offensive force for the Blues, as many key players such as Vladimir Tarasenko and Alexander Steen were sidelined. As the season came to a pause, Pietrangelo was 6th in points among all NHL defensemen with 70 in 52 games played. And while he may not be the flashiest guy out there, Pietrangelo is definitely consistent. With 45 giveaways, 43 takeaways, and 89 blocks, this power play specialist can compete with the best at both ends of the ice. As the season was put on hold, Roman Josi was in the middle of having a career year, as Josi, while playing on one of the best top pairs league-wide alongside Ryan Ellis, was able to put up an impressive 65 points in 69 games played. While averaging over 25 minutes per game, the captain has quickly become an offensive focal point in the Music City. But also, while joining the Rush, Josi's stats have paid a slight price, as he currently has a 2-to-1 ratio on giveaways and takeaways. But when you're putting up numbers such as these, it makes it all worthwhile in the end. Currently 10 points behind John Carlson in scoring for defensemen, there's no doubt that Josi would at least be in the Norris conversation if the season was still being played.